Hello everybody and welcome back to the Quake Pro League, week 7 of stage 2. We've been away for a little while, you know, me and Zoot, we haven't been reunited, rekindling our love over the glory that is Quake, but we finally return and I'm pretty excited for it. How you feeling, mate? It's been a while.
I'm feeling good, always delighted to be casting a little bit of Quake. We're in week 7, we had last week, we got some games getting off in 2020. Week 7 overall and it's getting down to crunch time, so yeah, I could not be more excited for this.
It's exactly that as well. 2020, Zoot. It's a whole new year. I haven't seen you since last decade, mate. Yeah.
There's been arguments going on about if it's 2020 new decade or 2021.
Yeah.
And I've been talking about it on Twitter. You know what? Probably shouldn't have even brought it up.
Which camp are you in?
I'm 2020, obviously.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 2020 vision. I can see that today is going to be lovely. It's going to be absolutely glorious once we get underway as the day develops. Hopefully some exciting storylines.
Yeah, exactly. We got so many good games up and ready for us. We're starting off in the danger zone, I think, with Cypher and Xron. I'm sure we're going to be able to see our games in just a couple of moments. But yeah, plenty of action to look forward to as we swing through North America and Europe.
Let's have a look, Zoot. Let's see what's going to be going down.
Here we go.
Tease what is coming up over the course of the day. Here are your first 4 matches.
So, as I just said, Xron and Cypher, they both got 3-0'd last week, and currently, as I said, sitting in the danger zone. If one of them can 3-0 the other, then that firmly puts the other in a pretty awkward spot going into the last 3 weeks of games in the Quake Pro League. Waz and Chain with an exciting Scalebearer clutch matchup in their third map. We see Tox again. I think he had a break last week, so it's the first time we see him this year going versus CNZ, and we've got Dramis and Dewey too to lock out the first page at least.
Man, return of the Tox. I do love watching him. He's always exciting.
And CNZ has been absolutely on form recently, so it's going to be a very tough game for him. I'm going to look forward to talking about, or breaking that game down a little bit later on. Genic and Saiga. Genic had a tough match versus Dehang last week. Probably going to have another tough match versus Saiga, as it's Genic in 20th place on the world ranking. Avik, who did 3-0 Cypher last week, but you've got to remember that that's a matchup that has historically always favoured Avik. Now it goes into a sort of a classic game between Avik and Kula, who have traditionally had super close games, no matter what their shape has ever looked like leading to whatever tournament it might have been in. That actually could be one of the best matches of the evening. And then we have got birthday boy Wenger.
Is his birthday?
It's his 21st birthday today.
Oh my goodness.
And he has got no one but Kilson to go against on his 21st birthday. So I wonder how that is going to play for him. And obviously the Rafa going versus Nosva, who's maybe looking to put his chin up, hold his head high and try and get a map at least off Rafa.
Oh yeah, some beautiful games actually. We're really in for a treat to kick off our comeback.
We've got a really nice juicy streak there with Avik versus Cooler and also Wenger versus Kelson. Though that little cluster I think is going to be absolute magic, especially if we can get like the real highs that we saw. I think it brings back to DreamHack Winter 2018, the Avik Cooler match in the semi-final. One of the best games that we'd have in Quake Champions up until that point. If we can have just like a semblance of that would yeah.
Even just a smidgen. I mean, he's thrown in a bit of a curveball as well. In that third map, we did see a DK pick for Avik.
Oh, we did, yeah. Wow, you're eagle-eyed right there. I hadn't seen yet.
Just going to throw it in, just try and tease people's appetite as the day develops.
He's been picking up a little bit of popularity lately. Been seeing in the challenges as well that people like to hold on to him, even when you've got other champions like Doom and Strog left in the pool. People starting to favour DK a little.
Yeah, that hasn't changed though. Strog still continuously being picked in a good majority of our matchups. I think we saw him pretty much throughout the day in nearly every one of our games, which is a good treat.
I think he's in the first game as well. Yeah. I think we see a slash from Cypher. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of that in a moment. But a slash played by Cypher, and we also get Strog played by Xron, probably just to deny crouch sliding from Cypher because of the Quake 4 old god he is.
Exactly. Well, let's start off with the top of the day, of course, our opening match, Zoot. What are your initial thoughts, your quick feelings on this one?
I mean, it is actually quite a tough one because
it's a toughie.
It's been a tiny bit back and forth, I say, historically. Obviously, Cypher has been part of Quake royalty for a lot longer than Xron has been trying to get himself into.
Right.
And I think that I'd narrowly give it to Xron at the moment. But I'm actually super on the fence, as you can probably tell.
It does seem like you're doing a bit of fence-based sitting.
I'm trying to balance myself as I talk.
Is it comfortable on that fence?
It's really not.
It doesn't look like there's much room.
Pointy.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That'd be a treat though. Cypher, he is always getting me excited. Honestly, I'm quite happy that we've come back into my first game. Going into this in 2020 is going to be seeing Cypher on the server. I physically can't express how much I like seeing this man cause carnage.
No, exactly. And he has been doing a lot of work since Italy to try and get himself in a more comfortable position on the ranking. He is in the danger zone, but if he can get himself a 3-0 today, then I think he's sort of... He's not going to be comfortable, but close to it.
Yeah. It's
on his way.
It really is a bit of a test, though, at this point. This match, going into it straight away, does kick us off with basically the tale of fates between both of these men. Who is going to be able to come out on top and try and keep on moving? Because we're pretty far into stage 2 now. You know, it seems only yesterday we were kicking it off, whereas now, Zoot, we're at week 7.
No, exactly. It's going all the way at the moment. Here's Xron, and I was talking about Quake royalty. If you want to discuss a point where he put himself into Quake royalty, then you're probably looking back at the Quake World Championships in 2017, where he won Sacrifice with his teammates Latromi, Silent Sep, and Claws. And he has been giving Duel an enormous blast and getting a lot of success from it, taking down huge names with his sort of slick, precise aim that he's had and just smart, trollish plays.
Oh, yeah. He is fun to watch.
He's just a cheeky guy. He's just a cheeky guy.
He's a cheeky little gamer.
Exactly. But the way that he plays, it just seems so calculated in everything that he does. But all of a sudden, he can surprise you with something hilarious. And yeah, the game can change from there. I believe we're going to be seeing him play Nyx versus a Slashverse. So 2 light champions up from the start. Nyx is his favorite, and Slash is Cypher's favorite. So it's a battle of favorites, really, and we're going to take a look at picks and bans now to get a wider look at that.
Yeah, this will give you a little bit more depth to how you believe this game is going to go. And I know you were sitting on the fence initially. I'm going to try and get you to decide which side has the greener grass, Xron or Cypher, based off our picks and bans we have here.
So I really like the Nyx and Slash pick from both players. It is Blood Run, actually. For some reason I was thinking it could be Blood Covenant. Blood Run... That's really difficult. I'm totally even there. Let's see if I'm not even elsewhere. Strog versus Ranger. I do slightly prefer the Ranger just because I don't think Xron's an okay Strog, but I don't think he's God Strog.
All right.
And I think that I'd narrowly give Cypher a victory, even though it is Xron's map. I just feel good about Cypher on that side. And at the end, it's basically how much rail damage can Xron do with the Doom? How vulnerable or exposed is Cypher going to be with the Sorlag moving around the map? And how quick can Sorlag be stacked and chase down those kills? If Sorlag does die, is he leaving Xron low on health? In which case he can just run off the spawn and try and find them and get those quick refrags, which Sorlag is so good at doing.
Go on, who's your pick?
So, 51% Xron.
51% Xron. That's how you've decided this.
50.1% Xron.
So it's a very, very marginal inkling that you believe Xron is going to be able to take this.
Yes, I think 2-1.
Yeah?
I think they're going to take each other's maps, and I think that Xron will win on the tiebreaker.
So no matter what you think,
I'm going into so much detail. I genuinely have no idea. You shouldn't listen to a thing that I'm saying.
It's exciting. I like getting you to theory craft.
What about you? What about you?
I'm going Cypher all the way.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I feel like we've got to
I'm so confident now.
Oh, yeah.
Now that I'm fence sitting, and if Cypher wins, I'm like, what do I do put even the work of thinking about it?
Well,
just say a name, right?
It's just one of those, right? It's based off the feeling. You look at it for me, and I'm just like, look, Cypher, when he knows he needs to get a big win, I think like that's when he really comes online.
Okay.
There's so much pressure on his soldiers. I don't think he's going to be able to take this one as, look, it's just another normal game. You know the type of personality he is. He's going to turn up and try and absolutely deal death.
Well, if he wins, I'll say, well, 49.9% of me thought he's going to win.
That is true.
That's quite like a...
That's nearly 50.
I mean, it's basically the same.
Pretty much.
If you round it up.
Yeah. There you go. That's maths. Well done. Wow. I'm impressed. You started doing maths on stream. It's a whole new year.
Golden sticker for me. Thank you.
Yeah,
you want to be more patronising, or
maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Might let you off the naughty step later if you carry on like this.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to Blood Run first.
We are,
Thanks,
indeed.
Jackie. We've got the Nyx and we've got the Slash. I wonder if they're spawn dependent a little bit.
Okay.
I'm more looking to see, are we going to get those cool plasma trails used by Cypher?
Ooh.
Can he set up those nice little maneuvers? And this is really going to be about the Ghost Walk. How well managed is that going to be from Xron? If he starts getting into a place where he's out of control, it gets quite difficult. The upper area now in Secret has got one fewer 25 health bubble, and the light armor has been moved over to the power-up spot. So it just makes you a tiny bit more exposed if you're going to the nail gun room and looking to be defensive.
Well, let's kick it off, Zoop. Let's get underway with this one and see who is going to be claiming the victory on the first map. You did expect them to trade their maps. Let's see if that is going to be coming true. Xron versus Cypher as we kick it off now.
Well, Cypher now going to get himself the third weapon of the trifecta. Not going to be feeling terrible. Looking for a little trap himself, but I think that Xron already picked up the rocket launcher. There we go. You can see it fired off. Spamming has an inkling that Cypher is lurking on this side of the map. But they're going to split on their major items. We might get our first bit of exchange damage in a second.
Initiation rocket goes in, full commit across from Cypher. Tons of damage done, but he comes out worse for wear and immediately has to back off Zoot, left with just 15 on his stack.
Yeah, that last rocket that Xron fired before going into Ghostwalker was deadly with a full 100 damage from it. Xron has taken some light armors already. I think he got the lower light and the upper. And there is also potentially a really good rotation on the major items. Looking to get a good rocket. He tries to find the rail out, and Cypher comes back in. He's got 225s to work with, so that's not a bad amount of resources. But a nice little backwards wall jump to get on that heavy.
A near miss with the rail as well, as he was still trying to at least prod from distance. Beautiful rocket. Bounces Xron up into the air and exposes him. And now finally, a little bit of downtime. Already, a fair bit of aggression coming through, and it's actually not going to slow down at all. Xron, an overcommit perhaps, but no, it works out. Cypher. First to fall, Zoot, as Xron opens it up with the initial pick.
There's some very unusual weapon picks that we're seeing from the players at the moment, especially the rockets going upwards from Xron. He does eventually make that switch and get the lightning gun. Small trap on the heavy.
Wow.
It's great damage that he's done. He's still quite low himself, and we have the Mega Health coming up soon. I don't think the light is up yet. Not until after the Mega Health's been picked. Tiny bit of rocket damage, so Cypher's still going to know where he is. There is a Ghost Walk, so Xron can play it a tiny bit safe, but really he doesn't want to engage in a fight at all. You know how fast Slash can be around the map. If she just gets up in his face, that Ghost Walk's going to be gone, and Xron's going to spend best part of a minute being really, really scared.
Playing it much slower at this point, listening out for those audio cues. Trying to get the gist of what Cypher is up to at this point and reposition, burning that clock down as much as possible, whilst he does have this nice little opening lead to play with the first frag being found.
He gets a perfect timing on the second major item there, just by standing near it. Finally gets himself plus 50, so now a direct rocket isn't just going to just blow him up. A little bit more information, backing off again, now full natural stack. It's still difficult to want to fight. He's probably looking for an out-of-control rail, maybe some tri-bolt damage.
Ooh. Finds a small boop with a rocket there, Zoop. He is losing when it comes down to his major items right now. A lot more map control has been established by Cypher. He's being able to roam around and essentially go unpunished. We're burning through the clock ever so slightly as well as we hit the 3-minute mark, and there could be another fight coming up.
Oh, he just heard that. 14 damage, not much, but he got all the information he needed. As you could see, he was switching the ways that he was looking. Very, very defensive. Xron knows that he can't really hold this game with Nyx versus a Slash to the very end. There's 6.5 more minutes to play defensively. It's just not possible versus someone as mobile as Slash. He needs that opportunity to do damage. And he's waiting. When do I need to use this Ghost Walk? And it is right then. Oh my god, that was scary.
Yeah, I thought that was actually going to work out really badly for him. Luckily, he does stay alive.
He's so vulnerable. He's in such bad shape at the moment. Still 25 seconds left with his Ghost Walk.
It's not an ideal spot to be in. You can see the paranoia as well, instead of just having to go back towards the blood pool to try and regain some of his stack.
It's a big shame, actually, for Cypher that he didn't have his plasma trail there. He could have covered up the teleporter exit. Oh, still, we're going to have a chase. Trying to get some rocket damage. He's being spun around everywhere. Cypher will tie things up, and it's a shame for Xron because it was 3 more seconds and that Ghost Walker's ready for him.
It's classic Xron as well. The delay tactics coming out straight from the get-go, just trying to burn that clock down as much as possible. Cypher, not ideal. Luckily, he does still get the heavy pickup and goes back in. Plasma Trail going to be coming down for Cypher. Spams out, forces out another Ghost Walk. Oh, the flick back around is filthy, Zoo.
That was nice and great timing too. I was very surprised Xron took that entire route through the Plasma Trail. He didn't have a lot of time to work with while he was invisible. Well, that's 2-1. And now Xron, having been playing defensive for about 3 to 4 minutes, has got to find a way to pick up the damage.
Cypher starting to feel like he can actually up the ante a little bit here. Turn on the speed as he bounces into action, finds himself that third frag and tackles Xron once again. Complete control of the major items as well. Things are going very nicely for him, and he's racking up the frags now, Zoo. 4 kills.
Trying to see where the spawn's going to be. Gets more damage. That lightning gun is marvelous there from Cypher. Lifted into the air. Now for Xron to find his way back in, it is super difficult.
He's done the hurty-verty. He wants to try and do it again, but downwards. Really starts the chase as he's sprinting in. Rapid flick as well. That's beautiful.
Cypher's just been having pretty much everything on the map, even trying to deny the light armor so often, even when like the Nyx is already starved of resources. Xron's got the Ghost Walk up there, but doesn't even want to use it. He can't get enough sort of basic damage to really put a threat to Cypher. And Xron winning his opponent's map pick is looking less and less likely at this stage.
Wow. He's literally just established absolute dominance on the map here. Complete control of all the major items. Set up a route that basically pays off every time. Guaranteed to find these frags at the minute. And the lightning gun is looking spectacularly good. Oh, the rail as well. Another one into this matchup. He's currently 9-1 in terms of the frags. He's looking to try and make it 10 as he blows Ron straight out of the server there with a rail.
Yeah, this is really nasty work. Cypher is totally dominating. Xron's got to the point where he's putting himself in dangerous positions just to hope for the best. And that reaction actually through the teleporter, that was insane from Cypher. So 11-1 now. And, well, just hold control. Don't do anything silly. And I see virtually no possible way for Xron to get back into this.
How's your fence sitting feeling right now? Slightly favouring Xron.
I think I'm about 90% Cypher now.
We've seen the change.
It's just needed 6 minutes, really. Not even 6 minutes. It was worrying to see Xron get the first kill, and then he just wasn't able to impose himself at all. We saw that when the fights were close to being even, Xron's damage output was very good. But then, you know, more and more perfect rotations from Cypher. It just felt like Xron could do nothing. Sure, he's got himself another kill, but what does it really mean?
If you can actually establish something from that, that would be the bigger picture, right? Because Cypher's literally had complete control the entire game. Any major item he wants, it's his. He's being able to roam around, do so much damage before Xron can even combat against him. Now we come close towards the 8-minute mark as well. There's not that much time left. And Xron, he's been playing quite defensive, but he's the one that really needs to try and put the pressure on right here, right now. At least there's a further frag to be established as Cypher goes down once again.
I could see maybe 3 or 4 more kills coming in, but 7 more? No.
No, it's such a hard task.
Didn't spot him there. Slash too short. He's just heard the Mega Health going off. But Cypher knows where he is, so it's just like, well, run. Just 120 seconds to go. Okay, for some reason, meeting. There's a chance for a kill. The light armor, I think, saved Cypher. So he extends it. And that's the final nail in the coffin, or whatever the phrase is. We're getting there.
Yeah.
First studio cast of the year.
He's going to be pushing up daisies.
Yeah.
But he's not a gardener. So it means he's dead too.
I've understood that one now. It took me a while.
It's alright, I thought I'd explain, just in case. I never know. 12-3 though, as our opening match goes incredibly one-sided. Cypher just really unloading, opening a can of whoop-ass right now, but Xron still wants something. A constellation frag towards the end, gets himself a 4th, but I don't really think he's going to get much more. There just physically isn't the time for it. Cypher looking strong coming into this.
Yeah, really strong. Looking like he's got his game face on. Wants to secure himself at least a few points at the moment to get himself away from the danger zone. I mean, already staring down the second map where we're going to be going to Ruins, where we'll have a Strog from Xron and a Ranger from Cypher. It makes me feel like Xron's not really ready to face Cypher himself, so he's just going to get the Pika to do it for him. He's getting himself a couple more in, but Cypher's just holding these defensive positions, so in terms of chaining to anything together, it's just borderline impossible. Oh, and he misses the rail. It's such a difficult angle to hold and set up. You've got half a second outside of Ghost Walk where you can't hit anything, and then you've got to get the perfect tracking on a vertical angle. I mean, that's, yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks.
I had full faith there in Cypher. For that re-peak, just swinging back out, I was like, alright, you know what? If he's got the confidence to go for it, he probably will slap him with the rail.
Yeah.
Man, he looks fired up. Like, you can see that raw aggression that's coming out from Cypher. This is what I was talking about. When it seems like his back's against the wall, he does just fully commit.
He's trying to see if he can make the respawn happen on the same spot. He gets it within 5, and Cypher is standing still for a second. When you stand still at the end, it's like, well, he's not even trying at the moment. He knows I can't do anything about it. So it doesn't make you feel better about how things are going.
It's a little bit of
GG.
salt in the wound.
Yeah, very much so. And the control overall, I mean, I'm looking at sort of 1 minute into 6 or 7 minutes in, where it just felt like Cypher was taking everything. I'm saying heavy, mega, both going to him, and at least one of those light armors per rotation was going over to Cypher. It was just raw dominance. So if we see anything like that in Ruins, Xron really doesn't stand too much of a chance. He's very good at Ruins, but yeah, there's, as you say, a Cypher who's got his game face on.
Ooh, it's rough as well, right? Because Xron, lovely opener. You do find that first frag, but he was just left in such an awkward position. There was nowhere he could go from there. No major items. Cypher gained complete control the entire game, and at that point, he literally just had 3 minutes of creeping around, attempting to find something.
He should have had a much cleaner kill, in my opinion. He was choosing the really weird weapons in the nail gun room to do the work. He was really stacked himself. I think he got away with like 20 health or something along those lines. He was going for these upwards rockets, which you just need to hit a direct rocket. Otherwise, you're not really going to do much damage. Even if you're hitting like the lip of somewhere, you don't even know if they're standing close enough to take splash. He eventually switched over to the lightning gun, but Cypher just did like his signature play, which is doing extraordinary amounts of damage with only having a tiny bit of health on your side anyway. So as soon as he does that, it's like, Xron, what can you do off the spawn? Nothing.
Worrying
nothing.
as well, because, I mean, literally the amount of shots we saw Cypher hit just with the rail alone to that game shows that he's looking on point. Like, it seems like the deathmatch has been in there. He's been warming up, maybe a little bit of insta-give in his downtime, but wow, like some of the shots he hit throughout that matchup, if that can carry on throughout this series, Zoot, I'm genuinely worried because some of the shots were just ridiculous.
Yeah, and that rail is absolutely pivotal. If you can be consistent or more consistent than your opponent, it forces them into downtime to move around the map. And that kills the clock, it kills the confidence, and well, it opens huge opportunities for yourself. So it's so important to be effective with that railgun.
Oh yeah, especially helps if you've got literally unprecedented control of the entire map and all the major items you could want. So hopefully Xron can attempt to punish a little bit more going through into our second map. What are your thoughts initially on that? What are you gazing towards?
On Ruins? I think Cypher's better in the control game at the moment. Xron's got to have a little bit more conviction in his actions and try and take away some of those items. He needs to keep the control at least split, otherwise he's going to find Cypher running all over him. And if he starts giving up those rail angles, and normally you expect Xron to be very good with the rail, if he can't play at least up to Cypher's standard with it, he's going to have to change his game plan to something slow, but where he can still somehow challenge onto some items somewhere around the map.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, I feel, going straight into this off the back of what's just occurred. Hopefully, the couple of frags found towards the end as well reinvigorated Xron a little bit, try and clear his head, take it as a best of one going into this, try and forget about what's just occurred, as we are underway with the second map now, Zoo.
Well, Cypher gets himself heavy off the spawn, he has the rail too, and now with the lightning gun in hand, he can hear the Strog trying to deny a little bit of stack. We're on the rail pickup, which he's successful at doing with the rail. And actually, a one rail, that's kind of all he needed off the beginning. Now the rotation, it's very much up to him. Does he want the heavy or does he want the mega health? Where is Xron going to set up? He might be on heavy already, actually. Uh-oh.
Does he spot him out here? Eventually realizes where he is. Couple of rockets going down. It's a few near misses. Looked like it was almost going to be a trade, actually, there. But Xron does somehow come out on top.
So Cypher decided he wanted to go for the heavy, but he decided really late. And he pushed through the room where Xron was just being careful and quiet. It's like a sort of semi-trap that took place there. But this is very similar to what we saw in map 1. Gets the first kill, has no stack to work with. What's he going to do from here?
He's forced himself so far out, and this is where Cypher can just roam around. He's picked up the armor already. He's going to be looking to try and go for that mega once it spawns in, but there will be a fight over it. Xron picking it up, gives him a little bit more stack to try and sustain and keep himself in the fight. Tons of damage done, but again, has to try and retreat.
I would have liked a little bit of a Pika play just then. Cypher was pretty low.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit of extra drama. Nothing wrong with some drama.
It probably would have been worth it, to be fair, in terms of the cooldown. You could have got it out, tried to force that first opening frag against Cypher, although it looks like we're going to have another fight right here, right now. Xron headbutts his way into Cypher there, picks up another mega as well, but that mega is stripped instantly. Lovely connection from Cypher, chucks across the Dire Orb, does commit to try and teleport behind. It's a rocket battle, and here comes the Pika, but he's not going to be seeing much.
No one's gone for the Heavy. Heavy's been up for 20 seconds or so. I think both of them assumed the opponent had taken it. And now they've both re-gauged. What is the timing now on the Heavy armor? Oh, again, these rails shutting down the attacks from Xron. He's losing track a little bit of where Cypher's going. He's got to hit one of these. Nothing is connecting. Xron, he's going to fall down here. He's just going to end himself. So, like, I was going to die anyway. Don't worry about it. And, well, we're actually back to 0-0. Never mind the 1-1.
If he's going out on his terms.
Yeah.
It's not ideal at all. Straight taking us back to essentially the opener into the game here. Mass amount of damage done. Cypher starting to get that confidence now, wanting to try and poke and prod a little bit more and force Xron to feel uncomfortable, not give him free reign of the map. Rocket actually connects! Oh. I didn't think that was even going to tag him, Suit. That is filthy.
That was an amazing rocket, but somehow he couldn't connect the rail shot afterwards. Cypher's just looking much crispier with everything that he's landing at the moment. Xron doesn't seem super confident with the weapons that he's using. I feel like we could descend into what we had on Blood Run. Lightning gun on Lightning gun. Xron actually had some pretty good damage then, but still Cypher with the heavy armor to go to. You can see the difference in timing of his kills.
Oh yeah, it's literally just coming down to the raw mechanics of it alone. If you look at the crosshair placement, the tracing, how effective Cypher's being right now, he is switched on. Like, he looks fired up and absolutely crispy.
We'll see if he can keep the crispiness. Get himself as 8 points if he can get to the end of this map with the greatest scoreline. On a late attack there, Cypher was really unready. He had no idea that Xron was crawling up at the top light armor, and that drop down from the slide. It's a little bit sneaky on the sound. Oh my god. Wow, okay, we got the rail shot. That was a very beautiful shot there. He just unscopes, or unzooms, careful Zoot, as Cypher pulls away.
Xron. Way more stack here versus Cypher. He's able to roam around, gets on back over towards the Heavy. 2 seconds till it's back up. He is going to be able to hold and scavenge that one, so he's in a great position. Definitely a lot more to play with rather than what Cypher has.
His slides are... they're okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's no to hang.
It's no to hang. It's, you know, 5 out of 10, or 4 out of 5 TripAdvisor, I don't know.
Yeah. Did you give it a review saying the sheets were a little bit dirty when you arrived?
I think so.
Yeah, there was no chocolate on the pillow. Ooh, this could be a very sweet play, though. The rail coming out, trying to force Cypher back, a little bit of damage done. Xron. It's weird, I think we've actually only seen one use of the Pika throughout this so far, in the space of nearly 5 minutes as well, Zoo.
Yeah, he hasn't really got a lot from it yet.
No.
Cypher's been dispatching it. Well, the rare times that come out. Here's the Pika. Actually, the damage has been insane. What the hell? Look at the 15s just blitzing in the air. That mega health is no longer yours, Cypher. Now it's time to attack. Ooh. He knows the timing of the Heavy, so he's got to dominate this room now. He knows that Cypher hasn't gone far away, so he's probably going to try and cut him up at the eyeball somehow.
The fadeaway rocket comes down, it telegraphs his location. 14 seconds until we have the Mega Spawn back through. Near miss with the rail. As Xron fully charging in, going headstrong. Cypher, he's trying to take him on, doing an awful lot of damage. Both of them pretty low on the stack.
Xron really should have been able to follow up from all that Pika damage. But Cypher's 2 rails in a row. That shuts him up for a small amount of time. And now Xron's going to be a little bit late to get over to this Heavy. He's going to drop down and see him. Small rocket and probably leave the area.
Yeah. Wow, okay. A follow-up fight straight away. Good damage. There's been some nice initiation from Xron, but he's just not capitalizing on it.
This is still better, though, than we were getting on Blood Run.
Oh, absolutely.
He couldn't really get past step 1 on Blood Run after the first frag. Now he's at least getting to step 2 or 3.
Route-wise and control-wise, at least he has established a good amount of dominance. He's been taking the Mega and the Heavy whenever he wants it. But Cypher, with a 1 frag advantage, is basically just kiting Xron, Zoo. He's just being able to roam around the map and burn down that clock. We're already 6 minutes and 20 deep. This is getting a little bit sketchy.
Yeah, if Xron can get some unreturned damage now, he needs to convert that into a kill. It does depend a little bit when the items are going to be up. Mega is there in a second. Can't push him out of there. Has the Pika ready if Cypher wants to push through. Good rocket. Oh, the rail through the legs! And the follow-up 9 HP. Cypher tries to spam a shot out. He needs to get over to that 25. That rail missing through the legs.
He nutmegged him with a rail.
Yeah. That's the only occasion where not making's not good.
No, it's not acceptable. Oh, Zoot. That is so unlucky. He needs some luck on his side right now, but the Pika could be the advantage. Tried to go in with it. Low on stack, though, doesn't have the confidence to really hit him with a full frontal assault. Instead, drops down, looking to play towards the heavy. Beautiful connection with the rocket, but it won't be a kill. And Cypher adds another frag to his tally.
Yeah, Xron tries to stick around to do it just a tiny bit more damage. Ends up not being too worth it. We've got an orb out, which hasn't done anything. This is a good chance for Xron, actually, for the lightning gun. He can make the connections, so it's back over to a 1 frag differential. But this time, how does he take it a step further to tie up the game?
Ooh, okay. That's not the rail connection you wanted coming through from Xron. At least he gets a mega. And does back off. The Battle of the Heavy commences once again. It's going to spawn in. Cypher should be able to snatch it, which he will. Xron retreats. As we come up towards that 8-minute mark. 1 frag between the both of them, but they're still playing so careful. Here comes the commit, and Cypher absolutely smashes his way through Xron.
Yeah, coming up the staircase just as you see the Ranger there. Oh my god, what a rail shot there from Cypher. Not trying to get another through. He's got the Dire Orb to relocate himself. And now he's no longer railable just for a second. Xron, it looks like he's going to have control at the backside of the game. But where's that conversion? 2 half-good rockets make it 3. A little bit of lightning gun to chase him through, and all of a sudden, that control, well, just as it started, it stopped. The rail to shut it down too, and potentially even shut down the map.
Cypher, the sniper, starting to go hyper as he picks up the rocket as well. Fires across lightning gun, doing a fair bit of damage. Both trying to fight over control of this mega. Eventually snatched away by Xron, but there really isn't much time. He has to push. He's the one that needs to aggress and initiate here, as they have 60 seconds for him to try and find the frags he needs to tie this one up.
1 minute warning.
That was actually a really good Dire Orb from Cypher. His ammunition on all weapons was getting so low. He's got to get rid of this Pika in time. This time, well, it's pretty much the same as last, wasn't it?
That was the last rail to kill the Pika as well. He would have died there.
Yeah, that was super, super close.
Yeah.
Xron's got to chase. He's going to find it. Misses the rail. He eventually gets it, but how much damage has he taken? Fortunately, he has the heavy to work with straight after. He needs a rocket jump or something. Something to position him well.
2 frags in 30 seconds. Can it be done? Will Xron be able to up the tempo? Definitely trying to up the ante.
Oh,
the snipes were clean, but the rocket had more power behind it as it uppercuts Xron out of the air. Cypher gets a 6 frag on the board and looks like he should be able to take this second map unless something goes horribly wrong for him.
A close little chase at the end. Xron at least committing to the last second, but Cypher, important defensive rocket. Xron knew he had to do whatever he could with the amount of health and time there was left. The last score of the, before the bell goes is 8-3, and that makes it at least a guaranteed 8 points for Cypher, looking to convert to 16 and stick Xron further and further into the danger zone on the leaderboards.
Honestly, it's kind of just sort of what I expected from this, with Cypher really stepping up to the mark in terms of just the fights he's going for. So crisp, so clinical in the way he's been playing it, and even then, the fact that essentially he did not have control of those major items. For a fair 4 to 5 minutes of the game, Xron was the one that was in charge of the mega whenever he wanted it. He could take the heavy essentially for free, but Cypher did so well of delaying and picking his fights at the right times. That was the key.
Yeah, I mean, to break it down more, I don't think that what Xron did was bad. It was just he couldn't hit the shots that he needed to. That was the only bad thing that really happened. Cypher was just way more consistent mechanically than him.
Oh yeah.
And I think that we saw Xron having to warm into the game a little bit with the movement. Towards the end, he was getting better. But if you can't connect those important rails, then what's going to happen to you? Oh, we didn't need to see that for Xron. He's going to feel horrible watching that back.
Oh no. Yeah, that's definitely one that's going to live on in his memory for a little while here. No, I mean, fair play. In terms of what Xron actually did, he did have control. He was the one that essentially should have been in the better position throughout.
I think he had control for longer, really.
He definitely
overall.
did, yeah. He looked in charge.
Yeah, I don't have the armor stats in front of me, but it felt like he was dominating. But it was just when you defensively keep on getting reset, pushed back to the items, then at that stage, having control for longer doesn't matter if you're not doing damage. Doing damage out of control is more important.
I'm also curious as well, in terms of what in his mindset of the opportunities were of when he used his Pika. Because obviously, like, with a hang, we see it a lot more. It tends to be basically if it's off cooldown, he's using Pika. He's going to get it out as much as possible throughout the course of a game to try and maximize his damage with it. We saw a few initiations there, but maybe only one real capitalization on it.
I've got two. I'll give it two. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't a case of using it whenever possible.
No.
And honestly, I've seen quite a few Pika games where the Strog games where the Pika doesn't really do much at all, and he got a lot of damage from it in those two instances, but it's the fact that he couldn't follow up, which was essential. He had to be able to convert that into a kill somehow, particularly the first time when it was at the Mega Health and we saw like a string of dozens of 15s, and it didn't turn into a kill. That's where I was like, okay, Cypher really feels more comfortable.
Because you could see the level of lethality he had with it there. I was like, right, this is straight up just a Pika kill out of nowhere. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it was the second time he had used it in 5 minutes, which it's pretty mad, really.
Well, let's check out Awoken. We've got a Solag and a Doom. Xron looking to get a couple more points. He knows if he loses this game, then he really has got a lot of work, but he's going to get a great start on Awoken with a couple of great rockets. 1-0.
Yeah. Fantastic way to kick things off here. 30 seconds deep into Awoken. I always love seeing a bit of Awoken too. This is where dreams are crushed and legends are born.
What's nice about the first kill is that Xron also had stack to work with at the end too. Cypher's got to make sure that he doesn't let that happen a lot. You've got to be doing damage all the time as Solag. There's the great rail follow-up. This isn't too bad because the major items were very recently taken. Cypher, if he can get a weapon now, he can actually challenge quite well. But these rails are doing all of the work. There's a kill, but now we're going to see the reverse, and Xron's going to challenge for the major items anyway. It's kind of this back and forth item game just for this rotation, I suspect.
I mean, Cypher could try and make a mad dash for the heavy right now, but he'd be so susceptible to Xron.
Wow.
Xron just battering him as well. Has control of the heavy here from the distance. Luckily, the pickup comes in. Oh my goodness.
That was a ton of rails. And again, he knows exactly what he's after. His crosshair is poised and prepared, and he is just landing everything for the moment. This is a ridiculous amount of rails, and despite having a poor first 60 seconds, it's as if it never happened.
Yeah, it's like a whole new game. Complete game changer from what we had in the opener here. Cypher, anything more to be done with the globules? So just try and get them off, but the spit isn't going to do much. As Xron comes out on top.
This acid is
small nuisance. Away.
Yeah, he kept running into the pool even after he had taken the health.
Needs to cure that poison.
I think back off from this a little bit. Don't overcommit. And he's overcommitted. That tri-bolt did, I think, the full... What is it? It's 35 plus 35 plus 35. It's a lot. 115? I can't count. I'm not ready for this. 105. We're there. Good job, team.
Well done, everyone. Very proud.
Together.
Not going to be proud of that, though, as Cypher, again, slashes his way through Xron. Tied up 3 apiece. This is actually proving to be a lot more hectic here. Finally, an even game between these two. This could be a juicy one if it carries on in this manner. Globules go out, trying to tick his way through. Xron does find himself a bit of a health globe to try and get rid of that debuff.
That was very close for a second. Xron does get the lightning gun room, which is good for recovery. He's got himself the connector light too, so he's not doing too badly. And it is Cypher who's in the dangerous area for the heavy, but he can back away now, having picked up the item. He's feeling great. Xron is feeling significantly less so. I think he just stayed on the nail gun spawn for the entire time there. Surprised that Cypher didn't push in to get himself a kill. He should have been aware. But the stack is growing and growing and growing for Solag.
That was so clean. Look how accurate he is right now. Whenever that lightning gun comes out, Cypher just does not miss a beat. Follow-up rocket as well. Can someone tell him to calm down, Zoot? This is too outrageous.
He does not want to whatsoever. He's going to find him again, try and push him out the map. Is he almost there? Lightning gun yet again, and you cannot get away from Cypher. 5-3. Clean kills as well, as he's still challenging the starting stack of Xron. Just trying to close off that window of opportunity. Luckily for Xron, he doesn't get hit by the damage over time, but he is tremendously weak, just waiting for the rail angle. No rush, full patience, full reward.
That is a filthy Kurt angle as well. Absolutely disgusting stuff right now. Xron, again, crushed. Cypher, it looked like it was a close game at the start, but now again he has just established utter dominance as he B-hops his way to try and build up a bit of speed here. Straight back into the fray once again. He's a lunatic.
That should have been a kill. 2 health left for Saul. Like, just been scattered at with the shotgun. Mega health's been taken. This has got to be it. And Cypher doesn't get the last blast off, which would have been really annoying. Lightning gun, not too bad. Got to watch out for the rocket. There is a health bubble to get rid of that damage over time. Very nice frag, actually. Securing that heavy armor was critical for Xron. Mega health soon, too.
The rocket pre-fire coming around, at least doing a fair bit of damage and starting to put his stamp onto the map, but it won't matter. Continuously taking a fight that he wasn't meant to win. He will fall. Cypher nabs himself a Mega. He's got the firepower to play with as well. The only thing he is lacking is the rail, but the rockets might be able to make up for it. The reinitiation. The lightning gun from him is still just absolutely sublime. It's been so clean the entire day, and he's looking to try and get another frag with it instead. We'll nab that one with the glob.
It was the direct glob right there, wasn't it?
Big glob from the big man.
4 frags ahead for Cypher. His stack isn't that safe, but his weapons have not been too bad. Trying to go for a small flick there. That was an optimistic challenge in reality from Cypher. And now Xron doesn't look too bad, but he has to be connecting these shots. A rocket to work with, but Cypher's so confident with that lightning gun. Even though we've got a mild stack advantage, I think that Xron should have been challenging even closer for that kill. Don't go up the bounce pad. Going up the bounce pad, dangerous.
Oh, look at him though, he's ready for it, teasing. Hoping the push will come towards him, spams out as much as he can with the nails, hoping to get the connection through. Xron taking a fair bit of damage, but he's got confidence to go for the full commit. The shotgun comes out! The globs will kill him after he falls, as they do trade, bring it up to 11-7.
That should have been more damage from Xron. He's missing a lot of lightning, LG damage. Good couple of rails that he's getting. He tries to float for one more, but nails almost out, but there was a bit of machine gun instead.
His confidence is just unmatched currently.
Cypher's aim is looking insane, actually.
Yeah.
He's making Xron look quite mediocre, which he is anything but.
That's what's been the real difference maker, especially on the LG. You can see that skill translated so majestically. It just looks beautiful to watch him use the lightning gun right now. He does not miss. He will finally fall, though. Xron tries to come back into the game. There's still definitely time.
There is certainly time, but it's about whether he can make these consistent plays. And if it's those mechanics do not seem to be the same level that we often see from him. Trying to push him out the window, almost. But more importantly, he at least secures the kill, has the mega health to work with afterwards, and there's a step closer to tying the game up. He's meeting the time requirements at the moment.
Oh yeah. The stopwatch in his back pocket has definitely been paying him dividends right now. The lightning gun coming across, he's trying to flex his muscles with it and show that he can live up to the same level of hype. Doesn't quite get the frag, but it won't matter. The point blank rail. See you later, Cypher.
That was pretty clutch, actually, from Xron. That was a tough rail to hit under pressure. Looking for a third, but he's run out of ammunition on it. There's a light armor to work with behind him, and Mega is up in a second. He is going to risk it for the jump. There's a direct, and he manages to get the mutual kill in the end. But is that going to be enough for him? Cypher spawns beside the heavy armor. One direct and the mid-air to lift him up. I think technically that was a double mid-air there.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
XD indeed, Xron.
Oh man. Zoot. 3 frags difference between them both. We've still got 2 minutes in the game. And the LG is just ripping its way through Xron. Absolutely decimating him. Not really much stack at all. Concedes fighting towards the Mega, has the back off, heads over towards the Heavy, but he's about 12 seconds too early as he is trying to dash his way around. Cypher, if he can try and maintain this lead, he's in a fantastic position to walk away with 16 points in the series. The rail connection nearly strips Xron of his life. The follow-up will do just that. Ooh. And Cypher's now on 15 after he smashes his face into the wall.
It's just helping out Xron, doing a little bit of that self-damage, you know. He's supportive, they're friends.
The flick on that.
Well, not quite going to hit it, and suddenly Xron has some resolve. You got to hit those shots, Xron. Even the rocket jump, Albert can't escape it. If he did that half a second earlier, or not even, 0.1 of a second, I think he would have got away with that.
It seemed like he actually almost was out of there completely scot-free. Xron, you've got 60 seconds now to attempt to tie up the game, to deny the extra points going the way of Cypher. It's got to be a bloodlust that's coming out from him. All-out aggression on display.
This is so difficult versus Sorlag.
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of health and armor she respawns with. He's going for these major items again. He doesn't really have time to do it anymore. Needs to find ways to cut Sorlag off, and there's seconds ticking away.
This could be the confrontation he's looking for, but the timing could be absolutely awful. Turns back around. Zoot, he's burning so much clock. There just isn't feasibly a chance, really. It's getting so awkward here. Goes in for the backstab. Can at least get behind him and try and fight over towards the Mega. It's going to be up in 8 seconds. The Cypher just runs, and that's all he needs to do. Just kite. Just waste the time. You've now got 10 seconds. It's just not going to be possible.
He's just let the entire 100 damage tick away. Time is out, Jackie. That's going to be it. We got 16 points to award in this one as we go 15-13 in favor of Cypher in map 3. There's a close one there, very close. We saw Xron, look, more lightning gun accuracy and damage from Cypher. That's pretty remarkable when you've got such a large target. 2,800 lightning gun damage. That is... I can't even express how much that is, other than the fact that it's 2,800.
Honestly, like, people at home, if you watch that back, there was really you can count more of the times he missed throughout that entire game. The lightning gun was just ridiculously accurate. It looked beautiful to witness. It was good throughout the series, but on Awoken, it was godly. He basically didn't miss with it throughout the majority of that match.
Yeah, especially when you got that smaller target to work with, and making... Xron's aim should certainly have been better than it was, but I think the story really is just how good Cypher's aim looked in the end. It was looking magnificent. There was lots of sort of direct chases, and Cypher was just botting away, really.
Yeah. He's the human aimbot, which,
that looked good.
You know, that's fantastic to have. Hopefully, this bodes well for Cypher continuing on. Not only through this stage, but more so Quake Pro League as a whole, Zoo.
It gives him a very small amount of breathing room at the moment. At least he's taking the steps needed in order to get himself out of that danger territory.
Yeah.
Xron is quite firmly in the danger territory. He needs to probably win...
I think he's got to win out, basically, yeah.
I think you're probably right. I don't think he's had a break yet in the second half of the stage. So he'll have 2 games left, and I think, you've got to win both of them, and quite possibly 3-0. At least one of them. But Xron had some very positive moments of this map, but it's just sometimes things fell apart for him. He didn't hit enough lightning gun, or was able to capitalize the way he should have in these certain instances. And we're just seeing a sort of the demonstration of LG from Cypher.
He is quite literally a human aimbot.
He'll be happy with that title.
The sheer lethality he had with this LG throughout the entire day. Look at it. It's just absolute madness. It's beautiful. To kick us off with our first series straight back into it in 2020, Zoo, I don't think we could ask for some better display of lightning gun there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, and I know that we've got Scale Bearer Clutch coming up afterwards, so...
Oh yeah, we're in for a treat.
The day just gets better and better, doesn't it?
It really does. Goodness. Cypher. Exciting stuff.
That rail was actually insane from Xron. I was very surprised that he would go for that. This is a nice little... It was a double mid-air, actually. Getting him on the double jump. Why not? If you count on want to get anyone on the rockets, Cypher's definitely a player you can count on. And at one point in history, he was certainly the player with the best rockets out there. At the moment, I kind of give that accolade to Wenger, but Cypher's always going to be remembered for his rockets. So I want more of those. More rockets, Cypher. We saw the LG. We saw loads of LG. We only got like a snippet of your god rockets.
To be fair, though, I feel being able to do that much damage with the LG and pretty much not miss, that's the key to being literally the lightning god.
And outgunning a Doom versus a Sorlag, which is actually insane. That shouldn't be happening at this level. I think Cypher we saw a very good day from him, but I think we also at the same time saw not the best day from Xron.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, obviously, map 1, it was the fact that the tempo just switched, and it was Cypher with the king of rotations, the king of literally just being able to take whatever he wants. It was great.
There were dimensions of the game that Xron was addressing through it. The thing is, the hardest one to address mid-game is aim. If your aim is feeling off, you can't just suddenly, well, I'm just going to aim better now.
Yeah.
At least what he did through the series is like, well, I'm going to make sure that my control challenge is better. His control did indeed get better from Blood Run, but if Cypher's already got all the components in line, you need that next aim bit as well to compete.
Oh, yeah. And it's so hard when you've got someone like Cypher that not only was the movement really on point, but it was the fact that the rails were coming in left, right, and center. Then as soon as you're in a close range fight, lightning gun, easy peasy. Every single time, he just looked absolutely flawless. It's fantastic to see, especially back from obviously him getting back into Quake Pro League, and it was like, all right, this is huge, return of the Cypher. The position he's now in the global leaderboards, obviously it's a little bit scary for him. So if this is a new page, potentially a little bit of a return to form run about the years, I'm excited to see it because he definitely is a gem to watch.
Definitely. And I think coming up next, guys, we have got Waz going versus Chain. We have been talking about some Scale Bearer versus Clutch action. I believe that is for Blood Run, but you can see the maps that we're going to be getting. You can see the players that we're going to be getting. These are they're both exciting aimers, exciting movers. You normally get sort of acrobatics and things like that from both Waz and Chain. Should be fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully an exhilarating matchup to get into. I believe we have got some exciting champions as well that should really get everyone fired up.
Absolutely. I'm delighted for that.
It'll be beautiful. We'll come back in with that after the break, though. Stay tuned for more Quake Pro League action.